Well, this has been really something. I'm glad that you joined me for this trip through the running dream. Really enjoyed this book. It did a lot for me. Thanks to video editing, you missed all the times I had to stop and cry a little bit. I cried when I practiced, but I'm a softie. Being a dad has done that to me. When you have your own children, maybe it'll all make sense. Um, but really emotional story, really inspiring ending. I loved that the more Jessica focused on Rosa, the better she did for herself. That's kind of neat, isn't it? She was even stronger than she had been back when running was her entire life. And I think that speaks to, kind of having a vision that goes beyond yourself and wanting to accomplish something that benefits somebody else. That's very meaningful. I love all of the support she received from other runners, from the people in the town, the cheering, of course, the track team, they were behind her all the way. And the awareness that was raised about Rosa, about, running with prosthetics and that sort of thing, just in general, I think everybody kind of benefited. A few little interesting little nuggets. Miss Rucker is there, the ice cold machine like math teacher, and she smiles and interacts. Well, that was an interesting little add-on. I don't know what to make of that. And I also never figured out who the donor was. Remember, somebody said they'd match what the track team raised up to $10,000 and helped get Jessica's running leg. We never found out who that was. Who was that? We got some clues maybe, but no answers. I think that was a really interesting choice of our author never to say who that was. But going back to the race, I mean, that moment when Rosa calls out, "This is the best day of my life." I mean, see, I'm getting choked up. I've done it like 17 times. Um, what would it be worth to give somebody that gift? What would it be worth for me, for you, for any person to be able to deliver to another person an experience that made them say, "This is the best day of my life"? That's amazing stuff. I hope that inspires you as it does me. I mean, that I wish I had the chance to do that more often, to give somebody an experience like that. But maybe we can start by just recognizing people that are often overlooked or invisible. I think about Rosa, it makes me think of the many people with cerebral palsy and other physical conditions, people who think differently or neurodivergent in some way. I've seen documentaries of people with various kinds of autism who uh, couldn't control their muscles enough to speak, but had all these thoughts and just needed adaptive technology to be able to communicate. Imagine you being you, all your thoughts, your ideas, your opinions, your jokes, your worries, and it's all in there, and nobody hears you, nobody sees you. You're just kind of invisible. Just try to wrap your mind around that. That makes me feel a little more sensitive about people who are different, who can get overlooked. They might have something to offer, like Rosa did. They might be amazing people and just never get the chance to show it. So I hope going through this story has given us all something to think about in that sense. But it ends in the most perfect way possible, I think. Jessica saying, "Oh my goodness, I didn't cross a finish line. I'm at my starting line. Everything's ahead of me now. Everything's possible. It's all out in front." She thought she was ending something, but she was really beginning something. And that goes back to Rosa's great nugget of wisdom from one of their scribbled conversations in math class. I love that that's where they had all their like deep conversations on notes in math class. But remember, Rosa said, starting lines and finish lines can be the same thing. And it kind of blew Jessica's mind. She'd never thought about that. But that's what it was for her. This line, she said, spent so much energy and focus thinking, I got to get across that line. And then she realized that wasn't a finish, that was a beginning. There is a lot ahead of her. It'd be really interesting to hear where Jessica goes from here. What happens now? But that's for our imagination instead of the story. So I hope you'll continue to dream big, think about what you want to accomplish, but also think about what you can accomplish for other people, serving others, lifting others up, building others up, encouraging other people. That's a really important element in this story. Um, it can be quiet ways, and it can be big ways. Some people, someone in the story was able to give a lot of money and to make something possible that might not have been possible otherwise. A lot of people were able to give encouragement that helped. The coach was able to do training that maybe without it, Jessica wouldn't have accomplished her goals. Her dad had those skills, those handyman skills to make the chair roll well and smoothly. Gavin had ideas. Fiona was the organizer. Everybody had something they could contribute, and without all of that, some part of this falls apart, and the story doesn't quite work the way that it does, and maybe Jessica doesn't reach her goal. Maybe it's a failure. So that really speaks to the power of everybody doing what they're good at and contributing what they've got. uh, I'm glad we did this. I loved this book, and I hope you'll join me for another one in the future. Take care.